Good afternoon. I can't hear you. Maybe you. Do you hear me? Loud and clear? Thanks. Great. So I think whether it's auditorium or a boardroom, sessions usually after lunch are rather uninteresting. I think so. I hope you agree. And but don't worry. This is not a presentation. I'm not here to give any gyan. And as this says, Kripya Gyan na bate. You know, everybody here, you all are MCOM students. You're knowledgeable, you're doing your thing, and I'm not here to make any presentation. We'll keep this as an interaction and as candid as it can be. So, I think I was hoping the previous speaker, Ms. Gurpreet, today being the yoga day, she would also help us do a little bit of yoga. You all have had lunch, so have had I. Can we all rise up and just shake up a little bit so that we are a little more active when we talk? Can we please? All of us. Just give it a good stretch. Stretch out. Rishikesh, you didn't have your lunch. All right. Stretch it out. Stretch it out. Go well. It's a yoga day today. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, great. Thank you. Please settle down. So I was hoping earlier that Gurpreet, our previous speaker, would do something like this, but as she didn't, and I can't do a lot of yoga, but I can definitely help stretch. Okay, so out of college, very candidly speaking, life is full of uncertainty. We had our previous speaker, Yash, talking about how he was poised with questions and what he needs to do. He joined Amazon, we all heard that you went to SP Jain, eventually joining his family business. So yes, certainly life out of college is full of uncertainty. What is necessary, and in my own perspective I can share, is you start where you are and use what you have. When you get bogged down with too many questions, too many options, too much data, too much exposure, you know, we all feel that yes, what is it that we need to do now? So a simple solution to that is start where you are, use what you have and do what you want to do. I'll try and share this quote in my perspective. When you're also out of college, I firmly believe that your I can is more important than your IQ. You know, your skills don't matter, your perspective doesn't matter, your knowledge at that point doesn't matter. What matters is a will to do things, to believe, and to say, yes, I can. I'm sure all of you can. If I can, all of you can. You know, also we need to remember that the tallest oaks, the biggest businesses, he spoke of businesses of Ambani's, he spoke of the Munjals, he spoke of the Tatas, he gave us example of Ratan Tata. Believe me the tallest oaks in the business or in the forest were once just little nuts which decided to hold their ground. Decide, begin, whatever. You know, we have so much opportunity these days. People are doing startups, people are getting good jobs. When I was in college, I passed out when perhaps some of you were just born or born a little earlier. I passed out in 2000 and from BBM. We didn't have all these fancy campus placements. We didn't have Amazon coming, we didn't have KPMG coming, we didn't have PwC coming. So there is so much opportunity today, there is so much data today, there is so much exposure today. Just decide and trust and believe in yourself that you can and you will be able to. I remember meeting Rishikesh, I think 7-8 years ago, and I was at a program which was conducted by the Dean of IIM Kozhikode then, Debashish Chatterjee, and Rishikesh was just out of college, doing his research there, and he was probably at the same time having similar questions as you and I, that what do you want to do after college, and he decided to pursue his career of a very noble career of teaching. Congratulations. So please decide to stick on, and remember that the tallest oak in the forest was once just a little nut that held its ground. As Steve Jobs put it, stay curious. You all have heard this famous quote from Steve Jobs. Stay curious, stay hungry, stay foolish. The greatest discovery for me after college was my discovery of ignorance. Like most of you, I didn't know what to do. What next was the big question. Where my life is treading, where I'll be heading, what is it that I'm going to do. By final year, all these questions were there. But thankfully for me, I also started working during my college days. I remember college used to be from 9 till 3:30, and after that, on most of the days, I used to go and help with my father's business, for which I also got a monthly stipend, and which of course came in handy, whether it was going out with friends or going out with your girlfriends or doing whatever, it always came in handy. So I was working while also in college. Also, a big realization was that after college, you actually need to unlearn what you have learned. I did my business management, but I don't think so that most of the things that I probably studied in a classroom came in handy. We were not using marketing skills the way we were taught. Accountancy and final accounts, you have chartered accountants who are doing it, they're professionals who are doing it. We learned economics. I don't know if I've ever applied economics to my business. Of course, a practical way, yes, but the theories that we have learned. So in a lot of way, you actually need to unlearn what you learn and be prepared for what the world is out and what you're going to face. It's completely different. It's very unlike of what you have imagined, what you have thought, what you are exposed to. It's a fish tank. It's a fish tank, and you are among the sharks. So you need to survive, and the survival is of the fittest. So as Steve Jobs put it, stay hungry, stay curious, stay foolish. The greatest discovery for me after college was my discovery of ignorance. Once I realized that how little I knew about the world, I suddenly had a very good reason to go and seek new knowledge, which opened up the way to progress. Constantly there is a need to learn, to unlearn, learn again, and the thing goes on. Even today, I'm trying to learn something new, if not every day, time and again. I'll also share an example, why ignorance is important and why we need to seek knowledge. A very dear friend of mine, at a very, very senior position in Flipkart. He is at a vice president level. I would say amongst the top 8-10 people in Flipkart. The gentleman is from IIT Kharagpur, has done an MBA from one of the IIMs after that. Must be 43, 44. And last week I was chatting up with him, and he comes and tells me that, Harsh, I am thinking that I'll take a year's sabbatical and go back to college, because now the young people who we are hiring are so forward thinking, their skills are so enhanced, they have so much new on their platter that I feel obsolete. I probably do not have even 1/4 of the skills that you may be having technically, which makes me obsolete. So, you unlearn and you learn again. Go that extra mile in whatever you are doing. Try and look beyond your 9 to 5 job. Let that not be your aim in life. You know, go the extra mile, try and do something new, try and do something innovative, try and do something brilliant, which will actually help you stand out. You will not merge in the crowd. Well, I'll give you my story there, a small snippet. When I was out of college, most of my friends, my immediate peer group, most of them, we still have a circle of 8-10 friends who are from Christ, and we still continue 20 years down the line. We remain closest of friends. So most of them were going abroad for their MBAs and things like that. I also managed to get into one of the universities in Australia. And then I was given a choice. The family was acquiring a business, which was a logistics business. It was a new company. And I was given a choice whether I could start working with that company or I could go abroad. I'm glad I didn't go abroad. I started working. It was a loss-making company. I turned it around. I rose up to the rank of the managing director in that company. When we acquired it, it was a 6-7 crore company. In 8-9 years, it was the fastest growing logistics company in India with a turnover of around about 200 crores. So I am glad that I went that extra mile to do beyond my 9-to-5 job. That doesn't mean I didn't have fun. I had all the fun possible. I did all the partying that I could. I probably lived my life very extravagantly, but I always strived to go that extra mile in doing what I do. And while doing stuff, your speed doesn't matter. Forward is forward. What matters is not to sit there, because if you sit there, you'll be overrun. If you sit there, somebody else will overtake you. If you sit there, somebody will be way ahead. You need to constantly move forward. Move at the pace of the tortoise, move at the pace of a deer, gallop as a rabbit, whatever, run as a horse. What matters is to keep moving. I also very strongly believe that your mindset is what separates the best from the rest. I have very good ideas. You have very good ideas. Most of you have very good ideas. How many of us are actually able to execute that idea? Ask yourself that question. Most of you are management students, commerce students. You must have done different things. You'll have different ideas. But why is it so that some people excel and some don't? It's all about the mindset. I work a lot with startups. My newest venture is called Kairos. Kairos is about the opportune moment, the right moment. It's a Greek word. So we engage with a lot of startups there. And we are trying to create a space for startups where everything, whether you need investments, whether you need mentoring, whether you need services, whether you need guidance, everything. You just come together, and Kairos is trying to solve that space. So what is it? And that separates a successful venture or a successful entrepreneur from a non-successful one. I think it is the mindset. Out of every 10 startups today, and sometimes I am bogged by the data, out of 10 startups, 9 do not go beyond ideation. 9 do not go beyond ideation, which means I conceptualize my idea, I think about it, I decide, I plan, but I'm not able to go beyond it. And why? So it is all in your mind. When you decide in your mind that you want to do, you will do. When you decide you will want to be successful, you will be successful. When you decide that you will give up, you don't give it up in reality. You first give it up in your mind. We all give it up in our minds and decide that, no, I'm done. I can't take this anymore. I've faced a lot of losses. There's a lot of good competition. People have advanced skills. They are smarter. Before I came here today, I was like, oh, it's 200 students. I'm nervous. But I decide that in my mind that I'll come here and speak. And I speak, as I speak, I have not rehearsed this. I have not thought about this. I have not prepared this beyond the presentation. what I speak is impromptu. So if I decide that I can, I can. If I decide I can't, I can't. And it's all in the mind. Initially, please don't be disheartened in whatever you do. Results will not come immediately. Please don't get disheartened. Please don't give up. Don't give up when you don't see results. That's the worst thing that you can do. I'll give you my example. When I started working for the company which we took over, as I told you, it was a loss-making company. People were not ready to come and work for us. They would say, oh, there's no job consistency. A little later, we started growing. Banks wouldn't lend us money. They would say, oh, okay, what is the surety that you'll pay us back? So don't get disheartened. Keep doing your stuff. Keep doing your job. One step at a time. Any great climb doesn't happen one day. You have to keep doing it constantly and doing it again and again and again. The same thing. It's only then when you strive. It's only when you strive you excel. So it is the same company where people were not ready to work for us or work with us, where the banks were not willing to fund us, when the clients would say that, okay, who are you and why should I give you any business? 5-6 years later, it is in the same company that I had the best talent being acquired in the country in that space, which was logistics. We had who of the world coming and telling us, okay, we want to acquire you, would you sell out? I was in logistics, so the world majors like DHL and TNT and who's who of the world were here knocking at my door asking me to sell out to them, that okay, please sell out, we want to acquire your company. I said, I'm ready to partner with you, I'm ready to work with you, I'm ready to go the extra mile with you, but I'm not ready to sell out. You can take majority stake or whatever, but I won't sell out the company 100%, and we didn't. Some of our companies, other peer groups, other peer companies got acquired and got fantastic valuations. But at the end of the day, what you realize is that whenever you sell out, you may have the money, but you don't have your business which is driving you, or vice versa. I think one key thing here also is to align. When I say align, be one with the idea that you have, be one with your thought, be one with your physical presence, be one with your spirituality, be one with your environment around you, be one with the business around you. So align. Destroy the idea that you have to constantly be working in order to be successful. Embrace the concept of rest, recovery, reflection towards a successful life. It cannot be constantly 24/7, 365. You cannot work like that. I see a lot of senior people, a lot of industrialists, a lot of management professionals in consulting business, in other businesses, who say, oh, I don't have time. I don't have time to go out with my family. I don't have time to go watch a movie. I don't have a time to go grab a drink in the evening. I don't have time to just do nothing on a Sunday. So it is necessary at the same, while you do things, to take a break, reflect on what you're doing, and adjust your pace accordingly. We all see success. I'd really like all of you to please have a look at this slide and tell me what you see. So success is like that iceberg we all see. What you see is just the tip of the iceberg. But what we don't realize, there is persistence, there is failure, there is sacrifice, there is disappointment, there is discipline, there is hard work, there is dedication. This is what people don't see when you are successful. When Gurpreet came in earlier today, what we all see is that she is a fabulous yoga teacher who has done very well for herself after getting out of college, choosing her passion, living her life. But it's only when she spoke to us that we realized that, okay, it is the same Gurpreet who struggled for getting the first class. She said, I used to struggle on my scooty to drive up to 20 kilometers every morning, waking up at 5. So as a youngster who's just out of college, when I was out of college and I was 20, 21, You know, I was going out, living my life all out, partying as if there is no tomorrow. And here we have one woman who is saying that I am rising at 4:35 every morning to ride 25 kilometers to some destination so that I can give out a yoga class. That's persistence, that's sacrifice. How many night outs with a friend she must have sacrificed? So we don't see that. We only see the tip of the iceberg. So truly, success is all about what you don't see. You know, world is changing at a very fast pace. Are you aware that last week, I think most of you will be aware, Facebook, in collaboration with 50 other corporations, and when I say other corporations, including Booking.com, including MasterCard, including RuPay, they launched a new currency, a virtual currency. Libra, yes. They formed a new company called Calibra, which is aiming to be the preferred currency in the times to come using blockchain technology. Now, of course, we all know that what is happening with blockchain and how it has crashed and so forth and so on. But yes, the world is moving to something which it has not seen. As my dear friend Yash put it, in probably 10-15 years from now, we will not be using any thermal power. I was reading yesterday that several companies, auto manufacturers, including Renault, Renault decided that after 2030, they will not manufacture any petrol or diesel engines at all. It will all be alternative fuels. So world is changing, evolving very fast, and we need to keep ourselves updated. Now have a look at these companies. In 2006, most of these brands didn't exist. You didn't have iPhone, you didn't have iPad, you didn't have Kindle, you didn't have 4G, you didn't have Lyft, Android, WhatsApp, Airbnb, Snapchat. All of you use Snapchat, I'm sure. Blockchain, Nest, Spotify. So things are changing very fast. The business model is changing very fast. I'm sure you all are aware that today the world's largest hotel room company, is Airbnb, and it doesn't own a single hotel room. All its rooms are managed. The closest competitor is the Marriott Group with 1.5 lakh rooms or something like that across the world. Airbnb, in contrast, has, I think, 7-8 lakh plus rooms in its inventory. The world's largest taxi service provider, Uber, doesn't own one single taxi. The world's largest trader, Amazon, doesn't have one single store. Does any one of you knew that what was the turnover of Amazon in India last year? Any guesses? Anybody? What was the total sale of Amazon India in last year? Anybody? Rishikesh? What was the turnover, online sales of Amazon in last year in India? I'm not talking about the world. Come on, you all are MCOM students. You need to know this. Any show of hands, anybody? Yes, ma'am. Would you like to take a guess, Ms. Anuradha? Of course I do. I acknowledge Ms. Anuradha. She was my teacher when I was doing business management in Christ. That was 20 years ago. So Amazon India last year did a turnover of approximately 110,000 crores. That was the total online sale in India alone. And I'm not talking about the world, sir. It was in India alone. So business is changing at a very, very fast pace, and technology is what will drive us. Don't become very comfortable doing what you are, It's important to step out of your comfort zone and try new things. When I started, I was running, and I'm still running, some logistics companies. But at the same time, I decided that if I don't do new stuff, I become obsolete. I invested and co-founded an oncology company. We run two companies by name Pinnacle Oncology and Metropolitan Cancer Care Centers. As you all know that cancer care in India is restricted to 5 or 6 main cities, being Bangalore, Delhi, Bombay, Chennai and Hyderabad. In Metropolitan, we are trying to take cancer care to the cities where it is needed the most. It is a company founded by 20 doctors, all senior oncologists. We primarily have a plug-and-play model wherein we go to a smaller city, we talk to the hospitals, we tell them that, okay, here we are, we have the expertise, we have the equipment. As a group, we have 500 plus years of collective experience, my intellectual capital, and I am ready to operate a cancer center in the town where it is needed the most. The newest one being Patna, which is in the news now for the wrong reasons. Patna is in news for the wrong reasons. And we also opened this year the first cancer center in Bhutan, along with government of Bhutan. We opened the first cancer center in a place called Raichur in North Karnataka. So constantly try doing something new. Get out of your comfort zone. Later last year we started Kairos, where I saw that there is a huge gap for startups. Today if I am a startup, I don't know who to go for mentoring, I don't know who to go for investments, I don't know who to go for funding. If I go to a lawyer to get a simple agreement drafted, he kind of fleeces me. So we try and bring everything, 100% 360-degree engagement for startups under Kairos. It is also important to work together. When you're growing, I'll be very smart. I think, okay, I have the skills, I'm very smart, I can go conquer the world, but without your team, without your other members, you can't really do anything. Battles are rarely won alone. It can be accomplished when many powers combine, extend collective reach, raise other voices to achieve the goal. So that's the whole idea. Collaborate, bring together people, team up. It'll really take you a long way. Be stubborn about your goals and flexible about your methods. There are a lot of us who believe it's my way or highway. I know it. I'm going to do it this way, or I don't do it at all. I have started this company. I'm the founder. It is my baby. All right, good. You have done great. But beyond that, the my way or highway doesn't work. There's always a middle way. There'll be people on the left, there'll be people on the right, there'll be people outside, but constantly try and choose the middle path. Nice words, I saw written on a balloon, which was like flying up high, that it's not what's inside that takes you on the top. Your balloon goes up because there's air filled in it, not because of its color, not because of anything else. Of course, it's a simple principle of physics, but beyond that, the hydrogen balloons or the balloons which you see in which people go up, it's all because of what is inside and not on the outside. So that constantly you need to keep adding to yourself, learn, innovate, think beyond what you know, and what you acquire, the knowledge you acquire will empower you. Nothing else, not money, not success, nothing else will empower you more than the knowledge that you acquire. You have a choice. You can either be a passive victim of your circumstances, or you can be the active hero of your own life. You will inevitably make mistakes, learn what you can and move on. At the end of your days, you will be judged by your gallop and not by your stumble. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid of your pace. Keep going, and this is what eventually you will find. While you're doing things, some people will love you only if you fit into their box. Please do not be afraid to disappoint them. I can share my example. Now, when in the beginning, when we go out as a startup or as an emerging company, you go to people, you ask for collaborations, you ask for things. They only come forward if they feel that, you can fit into their box in their model. Stick to yours, have a flexible path, and don't be afraid to disappoint them when you need to. I think that is very important. And love, in what you're doing, just keep loving what you do. I think that is what will really help you stand out. Most of the people that I meet, happy people, they think positive, help others, stay focused, live healthy, ignore negativity. And when I say point number 4, live healthy, I just don't mean that you are physically very healthy. It is also important to be mentally very healthy. You know, just leave aside your jealousy and greed and various other things. And you know, when I was out of college, I had different meanings and different positioning for success. I used to view success in a different manner. I wanted a big house, I wanted a fancy car, I wanted a great business with great numbers. But eventually what I realize is that even if whether you do a business which is doing 200 crores or whether it's doing 500 crores or whether it's doing 1,000 crores, ultimately you're living the same lifestyle. I probably bought the fanciest house in town, you know, in one of the most sought after gated communities, which who's who of country probably resides there. But then I realized that ultimately it's just a house, and if I don't have the right approach and the right people around me, what use is that house to me? If I could go and probably buy a Mercedes-Benz S-Class, but if I don't enjoy the ride on the streets of Bangalore, of what good is that car to me? So ultimately, one realization is that in whatever you do, you know, you have to be healthy in your mind, in your thought, and more important in your thought, so that you can really enjoy whatever you have gained and cherished and what your journey is. Lastly, you got a dream, but you got to keep working on it. And if you don't work on it, it's just a badge that you wear and it doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't mean anything that what you do at the end, you know. Finally, it's your inner self. I am not answerable to this crowd. I'm not answerable to my business. I'm not answerable to my shareholders. When I say about my, okay, performance-wise, yes, perhaps. But beyond that, in anything, I am answerable to myself. My own conscience, that what I am doing, what I am going from here, what my journey is about. Often while working towards our milestones, trying to do things, trying to achieve things, we forget enjoying our own presence, our own being. So please start doing that. And as you dream, all other badges, whatever you earn, whatever you make, whatever you do, doesn't matter till you are not satisfied doing it, till you are not enjoying doing it, till you are not passionate about doing it. Every morning you need to be happy about going back to your work and doing what you do. I should feel passionate about it. You know, it should not be, I remember when I was coming to college, I used to be very passionate about coming to college. Not because I enjoyed the classes, but because I enjoyed meeting my friends, I enjoyed the hanging out, I enjoyed the interactions, and of course, going to some classes like Miss Anuradha. But beyond that, I think you need to constantly love doing what you do. So the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. I think please constantly keep dreaming, keep thinking, keep innovating, keep challenging yourself, because until and unless you do, you will become obsolete and you'll stay where you are. I think that's all I have to say. Thank you.